Hi. Today I wanted to talk about something that I feel to be very critical to anybody's personal strategic planning, personal growth planning, success planning, anything along that line. And it's what I call the coach's dilemma, or the resistance for people to consistently pursue and incorporate into their lifestyle outside perspective or coaches or third-party training, support, seminars, books, tapes, all of that whole line of stuff. Why people tend to be resistant to that idea, at least resistant to being consistent with that idea. And there are three main reasons that I have observed to be very common when people actually take the time to explain why it doesn't make sense for them to incorporate a coach into their planning. And I refer to these three things as the three-headed dragon. So I'm going to talk through those today. The first head of the dragon is the knowledge dragon. The dragon of proof. Many people have a belief that in order for our coach to be effective at helping them, the coach must be better at the task that they are coaching the people on than the people are themselves. So the problem, though, is when you look out in the real world, and especially in areas where coaches are very visible and easy to see their results, in areas like sports and entertainment and things like that, we all understand that, Tiger Woods, for example, none of his coaches can consistently beat him in golf. Nor would we expect any NFL coach or NBA coach or baseball coach or fighting coach to be able to outperform the very people that they coach. That's not a practical expectation. But in the world of personal growth and development, in the world of performance, we don't have that same rationalization. We somehow feel that in order for a person to be able to coach you, they must be better at doing the thing that they're coaching you on than you are. And that's because people confuse the activity of doing the thing and coaching the thing. And they are separate, standalone capabilities. And you can, in fact, be very effective at coaching, as some people can be very effective at performing. So because of this dilemma, this dragon of proof, many people never get out of the stage of proving to themselves why a coach isn't worthy enough to bring into their life on a consistent basis. So many people get stopped right there, that first dragon. They never get beyond fighting the dragon of proof. And unfortunately, they never get the advantage or the elevation in performance or results that many of those coaches could help them get along the way. The second idea, the second head of the dragon that I see is very common, is I'm going to call it the dragon of the dragon in the kingdom. So, and what we mean by this is the idea is this, that many people believe that because coaches don't know the details of a person's situation, their environment, their kingdom, if you will. And their kingdom can be their family, their business, their part of the country, their location, their race, their economic status, their, where they fall on the beauty scale, any one of these things that I'm going to call their kingdom. But they believe that because a coach doesn't know the details or can't know the details of their particular kingdom, they can't possibly be that effective at guiding them through that kingdom. And although that idea may seem logical, it's just not true. They may be right that the coach won't know that, in the backhand corner of their backyard being their kingdom, their environment, their situation, a coach may not know that someplace in the back left-hand corner of their backyard is an old oak tree where you carved out the initials of your first love who broke your heart, and that heartbreak has had long-lasting an impact on your life up until the present day. They may be right. A coach may not know that oak tree with that carving exists at the back left-hand corner of the yard But what people fail to realize is that all yards, all kingdoms, all yards are subject to the forces of nature. All yards are subject to sun rising and sun falling and sunset, and there are trees and there are grass and there are all these things that are in common that actually create the box that all yards live in. So they're a large part of everybody's kingdom is fundamentally the same. And in many cases, it's not the details of people's kingdoms that give them problems, grief, and or limits. It's something really fundamental. It's the way they look at or internalize something that's pretty fundamental. And these fundamentals are things that people can understand. So that coach may not understand that, that initial was carved in that tree at the left-hand corner of your yard, but what a coach will understand is that in many people's yards, there have been the experience of heartbreak, and in many people's lives, that heartbreak has a long-standing residual effect, and they can come to understand that effect very clearly, and because of that, actually be able to help you without knowing the details of your yard. So, but many people get caught fighting this second dragon, the dragon in the kingdom. They never get to the point where they believe that a coach has their level of understanding of their kingdom. But here's the sad truth in that perspective. Nobody will ever have their perspective of their kingdom outside of them. So they pretty much condemn themselves to only knowing what they themselves are able to learn on their own. So that's the second dragon. The third dragon, or the third challenge, if you will, is this idea of separateness. So let's just call it the lonely dragon. The lonely dragon is this idea that things are in fact separate. This is a huge, this idea is very predominant in Western thinking. We have a very Newtonian way of looking at the universe, of the universe being made of separate standalone things that can affect each other when they bump into each other, but they're not the same. They're physically separated by time and space and all other kind of things. So the challenge is that when we have this fundamental core belief of separateness, that tends to, we apply that universal belief to areas of our life. So we believe that our life, the problems in our life are completely separate than the problems in our neighbor's life, and our lives are completely separate from the problems of people on the other side of the planet. We believe that our business is things that happen in our business are completely separate than things that happen at home, and they are completely separate than things we do for recreation. We try to separate all of these things into standalone objects or standalone instances that, and this has a huge impact on how we view the world. We do not believe that by learning how to make a great souffle, that can have anything at all to do with our ability to be better at making relationships, or to be better at programming software, or to be better at writing a song. Or we think that everything stands alone and everything is separate. What we will find, though, or what many people that can get beyond this view of separateness will find, is that when people can dig into any subject matter deep enough, to increase their level of understanding of any subject matter deep enough, they will automatically start to see similarities across other areas of their life. So they may, in fact, in the analogy we've given here today, that if anyone were to really submerge themselves into the art of making the world's most perfect souffle, and you talk to souffle experts, and you read up on the history of souffles and where it came from and all that stuff, there would be things that you learned along the way where you would recognize that in your effort of writing a song, or in your effort of building a business, or in your effort of increasing the meaningfulness in your relationship, you're going to say, wow, this is very similar to this aspect of making a souffle. And my point is, what coaches tend to do with people is to isolate your focus and isolate the conversation, and isolate all the things around the context of your experience to be around one thing long enough for you to, instead of expending your focus wide, to expend it more to deeper. And that deeper perspective facilitated by coaches often helps you in many other areas of your life. And often you can't see the value of your activity because you haven't been forced to look deep enough. So this lonely dragon idea is the fact that people can tend to be resistant to the value of coaching because they've never submitted themselves to coaching long enough to realize this sudden personal empowerment, this ability for you to see more in everything that you do. This idea can be expanded towards a common phrase of, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So all of these things collectively, I think, kind of support that idea. Most people are resistant to the idea of consistently incorporating coaches into their lives for kind of one of those three ideas. They either, fighting the dragon of proof and they never get past that, or they are, fighting the dragon in their kingdom, right? Looking for somebody that understands them that deeply and that well, specifically, or they are the lonely dragon, right? They are this thing that they view to be completely unique and separate and unlike anything else in the universe. Therefore, somebody that generalizes like they believe coaches will do can possibly have a deeper level of value. So I wanted to kind of explore those things with you just to give you my take on why people are resistant to coaches. So, and here's the funny part. I know that in people that come across and view these videos, they might disagree with one of these dragons, so to speak, but I bet you if I were to ask people that disagree with these different dragons as reasons why people are not consistent with coaching, and I asked the people that disagree with these three areas to raise their hand if they have some type of consistent coaching element of support or system in place, they won't be the same people. They won't be the same people. People that incorporate coaches consistently in their lives do not fight these dragons. Do not fight these dragons we just walked through. They fight different things, but not these three dragons. But I find these ideas, if you will, very common amongst people that are most willing to debate with me or argue the counterpoint of the value of having coaches in your life. I think if you would take enough time to explore a coach or overcome one of these three dragons that I just discussed, a coach would be the first person to tell you that one, they are not they may not be better at what the task is than you are, but that they can help you get better if you would really listen to them. They would also tell you that they are not and usually don't even claim to be experts on you or your life, but they do have some very clear distinctions and understandings of life in general or business in general. And three, that many coaches, through deeper discussions and openness to coaches, you will find that many of the activities you find that you don't currently believe to be affecting other areas of your life because of this idea of separateness actually are. And just that distinction alone, or just putting that light on in your room, will better empower you to not stumble across things that you might be bumping into because that part of your room is currently dark. So hopefully that helped you out if you're one of those people that are trapped and so resistant to coaching in your life and you spend a lot of your time fighting one of those dragons. I wish you happy combat, and I hope that you slay one of those dragons so that you can be on your way to becoming better at everything.